our next segment is an idea incubator, in which I ask my guests to share idea, concepts, theories, experiences that have had a great impact in their life. And the hope is that I will try to learn as much as I can about it. And if I can learn something in 10 minutes, a new idea today, then anyone can. So, what are you going to share with us today?
That was a great segue because I'm going to talk about Burning Man. Burning Man, Burning Man, Burning Man, Burning Man. Perfect how it just fits in because, I mean, Burning Man and decommodification is one of their 10 principles. So, Burning Man, for those of you who don't know, many of you might already, is an experiment in community living. It takes place in the desert, the Black Rock Desert of Nevada, every August, end of August, beginning of September. It's a 7-day long event, not a festival, not a festival. Experiment in community living. Yes, it does have the makings of a festival. So there's music and there's art and there's people, but it is decommodified. You can't take your brands there, and your money is no good at Burning Man. You can use your money to purchase a ticket to get there, obviously, but beyond that, you can't buy anything. So, not a festival. It's got 10 guiding principles. One of them, like I mentioned, is decommodification. Another one is leave no trace, which is a very, very big one. We aim to leave the desert cleaner than we found it. That means 70,000 people go to Burning Man every year. They create art for one another, engaging art, not art like you go to the Louvre, for example, and you stand a few meters away and you look at it and you talk about it intellectually. Well, it's art you engage with.
No offense to Mona Lisa.
no offense to the Louvre either.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a different kind of art, no offense whatsoever. This is engaging kind of art. This is art that's built for you to engage with, for you to have an experience with. And 70,000 people there go to do that for you. There are art installations. There are sound camps, so huge camps with stages and music and art cars or mutant vehicles, in insane shapes made of crazy materials, like Il Pulpo Mecanico, the mechanical octopus that is made of recycled trash cans with all its tentacles, and it breathes out fire and I think from there and from its tentacles. It's insane. It's one of the first things I saw the first time we went to 2016, and I was blown away, but it was just one of the countless art cars over there. So art cars that also play music, mutant vehicles, art installations, all of these camps that offer you all sorts of things, anything that you want. You want a spanking, they'll offer it to you. You want a hot dog, they'll offer it to you. And everything, absolutely everything you can imagine and you can't imagine, they will have that there for you. And that is another one of the guiding principles, gifting. So often misunderstood as bartering, but it's not a barter system. It's not like, hi, Shalaj, this is for you. The response is, oh, thanks, and this is for you.
You don't expect something in return.
No, you don't. It's a gift. Everything over there is a gifting experiences for one another. So going back to what I was saying about leaving no trace, you can imagine the 70,000 people that come and bring these camps and art installations and art cars and sound camps for you. You can imagine what sort of waste that creates. There are no waste baskets. You have to take your waste out with you. The Burning Man organization offers porta potties, portaloos, so you can use them only for the fluids that come out of your body. You cannot throw wet wipes in them. You can throw toilet paper, nothing else. They offer that to you. But if you choose to use something for yourself, whatever you do when you brush your teeth, the water goes into something. You collect it, and you take it back with you. You can't throw it down the porta potty. Everything, you've nailed something to the ground, you take that nail out and you take it with you. Leave no trace. It's so, so important that there actually is a task force, a whole bunch, a sea of volunteers that stay after everyone is done with the festival. They stay for weeks. They cut the desert into grids and they comb it with a fine-tooth comb. They take little sequins out of the desert sand and take it with them. I mean desert dust, because it's not a sand desert. It's an ancient alkaline lake bed that's miles deep. And that's why the dust doesn't disappear. It was so funny. A couple of years ago, my husband and I and another friend were walking down one of the Black Rock City's streets. And my husband thought out loud, oh, I love my husband, so full of curiosity about everything. I wonder why the dust never disappears. There's always dust, right? And just out of nowhere, out of the darkness, someone had his head in an art car fixing something, looks up and said, that's because it's 9 miles deep, or something like that. Not sure about the exact number, but very, very deep, right? So, yeah, 10 guiding principles: leave no trace, decommodification, gifting, radical self-expression. You go there, you can be yourself in all your glory, whatever that looks like. You get to do you. And that's why it's also called a permission engine. You know, in life, don't you find yourself often wanting to do things but never doing them? Permission engine, Burning Man. You do it, whether it's radical self-expression or the creation of these beautiful artworks. You go there, it's a blank canvas. It's a vast, dry lake bed, huge white vastness. It's a canvas you can do anything with. It is incredible. And that's why it's also been called the Olympics of Arts. What are some of the other radical inclusion? Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, you're all invited with all your kookiness and craziness and etc. And just like the rest of the world, it attracts all sorts of people. You have the awesome, loving, generous, giving, hospitable, super friendly people. And then maybe some who are not like that also come. You know, it's a reflection of what the rest of the world is like, but radical inclusion. And there are quite a few others also that are important, which is what makes Burning Man the best learning experience, especially for adults, okay? Because we have had curiosity beaten out of us. Whatever artistic things that we have had it beaten out of us first through our schooling and then through these corporate contexts where you are meant to be a certain way and you are meant to reflect a certain image. And I know in some parts of the world and in some companies, that sort of corporate culture is changing, but it's not changing fast enough. But I know that Burning Man has been one guiding, driving force in the change of these corporate cultures in places like the United States. And maybe other parts of the world too. I'm not sure. And that's why I would choose Burning Man every single time. If everyone were to ask me, tell me about something, I would talk about Burning Man. Africa Burn is its regional event. It happens in South Africa. And they have 11 guiding principles. The 11th one is each one, teach one, which is fantastic because there's a lot about Burning Man, a lot of misconceptions about Burning Man that people come and have this idea of it.
Drugs,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
And these are there, but they are an element of it.
Yeah.
You make the burn meaningful for you. And like I said, it's a representation for the rest of humanity, but it is a place where you can be yourself. Okay? Outside of whatever school and work has done to you, you can go there and be yourself. Oh, immediacy also is one that I really love because they encourage you to interact with the present moment. And I know there's a fine balance between, oh, I really want to have this moment with me, you know, but that's different. Taking a picture or a video is different than constantly being on your devices. Like you take the picture, but you don't post it on social media. You take the picture and you may post it on social media after the event is done, but you're not disengage from the present moment by being somewhere else at the same time. So immediacy is another one of the ones that I like. And Burning Man teaches you again to explore yourself, to allow yourself to be yourself if you lost these abilities. And I think that a lot of us have. I've written more poetry since I went to the first Burning Man event than I have than I
Since
had
years before. Yeah.
yes before.
Mhm.
And it really is a permission engine. It really is a creative life force. It is the most vibrant coming together of creativity and love and generosity and beauty and transcendental experience anywhere.
You did mention it's an experiment. So, do you think it is reflective of the way we would react if we were put in that kind of a situation? If we didn't have commodities, we didn't have rules, a structure, we will start building better relationships, connecting with each on a deeper level. Not barter system, but just having a connection with someone in a way that you want to help them out. And then they might help you out, but you don't expect something in return at all. And you share more, you communicate better. Do you think that would happen?
Absolutely. You just talked about something that's relevant to another one of its guiding principles, which is radical self-reliance. So you're going into this harsh environment where you need to bring everything with you. You can't buy anything. You need to bring everything with you, and then you need to take it back out. Everything you need to survive in the harsh desert environment for 7 days, you need to take with you. But like you said, people anticipate and they bring things. There are entire camps built around what could people have forgotten to get and how can we support them. So there's an entire camp, or several of them really, some more known than others because they've been around longer, for your bicycles and your tires, because it's vast. You need a bicycle to go around the whole place, and you still won't be able to go around the whole place in 7 days. There are entire camps for sanitary items that you may have forgotten to bring. You just go and you go, oh my God, I need whatever, this, that, or the other. They'll give it to you. The camps that give you food. My goodness. One evening, my husband said, I really feel like having some grills and red wine. Just like that. And kid you not, 5 minutes into our walk that evening, just on the same street where our camp was Valhalla Camp. Shout out to Valhalla Camp. And that night, they had full roast pig. Like, honestly, like they had the whole gear with them out there. And red wine. You go in there, they had Viking hats, they had fur things that you could sit on platforms, and then all the other accoutrements as well, like all the salads and the side dishes that you wanted with that. And there's a term for that. The Playa provides. The Playa are the grounds of Burning Man, where all this magic happens. And this happens all the time. The Playa provides. Again, we were walking. This was 3 years ago. It was hot. It was the hottest. That year was the hottest year. It was insane. It was so hot. People would plan their journey out during the day and go towards the camps where there were the misters, go in there, cool down a little bit, and then continue on their journey. And that afternoon, my husband said, I really love a cold soda right now.
Pops into existence. Just drops from the sky.
Just about. 2 minutes down, there's a whole soda can. It was Hack a Soda, I think it was called. And it was so cool. It wasn't a regular soda. You had all these different flavors, and that you'd choose which one, and then they'd add the soda water to it. And you have to understand what an amazing thing that is, because it's hot. It's a mission to get ice. With the two things that you can buy at Burning Man, at Center Camp and at their ice selling places, the name isn't coming to me now, are ice and coffee. That's it. And so it's a trek to go get ice. If you're a camp that's making soda, your volunteers are on rotational duty to go several times and get ice because they're serving soda. That's their gift to the burner community. And there you go. The Playa provides. And
if I were to ask you to maybe recount one memory that has stuck with you throughout, you have been for so many Burning Mans, one that always comes to your mind that has been transcendental.
Oh, there are so many. I mean,
Just one then.
where do I start? Which one? Which one? I mean, it's very hard for me to choose because so many of them are so profound and so transcendental and memorable. I'll choose this one randomly, really, not for any particular reason. It was the first year. The first year we went was 2016. And my brother and his wife insisted finally that we come along because they had been twice before. And the reason why they had been before was to attend the Playa Wedding of a friend. A Playa Wedding is a wedding that happens at Burning Man. So you call it a Playa Wedding.
Do you officially get married, or just like
No.
it's just okay.
Yes. I mean, I suppose you could. You could take an official celebrant
Right.
and you can have an official wedding there if you want to.
But this was just like your persona is getting married to someone else. Your Playa persona is getting
No,
Oh,
no,
just-
no. They're actually getting married.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
okay.
actually getting married. They might have an official ceremony in what's called the default world, which is
Right.
what we refer to. That's
the
not
boring one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Well,
the other one.
we still need the default world to make Burning Man happen, right? I
course.
mean, Burning Man is an excellent blueprint of what would happen if a bunch of really creative, generous people got together to create another way of living, experiment in community living. That's what it would look like, right? Like a post-AI world where you don't have to be coin-driven and work because you need to pay for your existence. That's what it would look like, right?
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No,
So you're
that's
talking
okay.
About the wedding.
Yeah, but we still need the default world to make Burning Man
Yeah.
happen. So let's
There's
not
hope for us.
let's not diss the default world. Let's bring Burning Man values into the default world so that they are more similar and less unlike with one another. Unlike one another. So, Playa Wedding. My brother and his wife were going. They have 4 kids, triplets, and one that's a year and a half older. So for them, it's a big deal to take 3 days off and go to Burning Man. But they did it because a friend of theirs, were getting married. And they talked about us with Burning Man, and conditions worked in our lives at that point that made it happen for us to be able to go. So we went. Every single part of this story is a story in and of itself. But long story short, we get to the greeters gate. Now, the greeters are the ones who stop you and just give you some love. They're not the ones who necessarily check whatever they need to check in the car. They're literally there to give you some love. So you open the door, you get out, and they give you a hug. They just give you some pointers and stuff. And if you're new to Burning Man, they'll ask you to make a dust angel on the ground. Yes. And then they'll ask if they can hug you. They'll hug you and they'll say, "Welcome home." Okay. I didn't understand what they meant, like, welcome home. And we drove in. This was an insane Mad Max post-apocalyptic world of dust and camps that looked different, and bikes gliding by like magical beings from another dimension, dressed in tutus and pasties and top hats and tails and furs and nets and iridescent body paint. And just getting goosebumps remembering it. And in that insane, harsh environment, in the heat, I saw this creativity emerging in the way people had presented themselves, in the way they had created their living quarters, their sharing spaces. And I understood why they said welcome home. And I understood why I always felt like a misfit, that I didn't belong in this context. And I vowed that the next time I went, I would go to create something myself as well. And my husband and I got on top of it And we thought, what would we want to take as a gift? We thought the universe. We're going to take the universe with us. And we thought, oh, we're going to get a telescope. We'll store it at one of the storage places there. And we talked about this with my brother, and he said, you don't need to do that. You can talk to this camp. There's a camp that exists that already does that. Join them. And we did in 2017. The next year, we joined them. And I'm very happy to say now that I am part of the board of that camp just a couple of years afterwards. And Burning Man is the ultimate learning experience because it teaches you not just how to be in these VUCA conditions. What does it stand for? Volatile, unpredictable, chaotic, and something else, ambiguous, VUCA world. It teaches you to be like that. I mean, that's why Google took Eric Schmidt there. He was part of 50 people shortlisted, their CEO. And one of their ways of shortlisting was taking Eric Schmidt to Burning Man, because all the Googlers are burners. They have all their fire performance pictures all over the offices. And did you know that the first Google Doodle was a stick man?
Oh, really? Inspired by Burning Man?
Just as a note, like, we're at Burning Man. So we're not at the office. We're at Burning Man. That was the very first Google Doodle.
All right.
Yep. Look it up. And this is just one of many experiences at Burning Man that will just either change your life or confirm what you know about yourself and just make you so much more empowered and in love with yourself, with life, with others.